what? Married with Channels. It's a show about TV shows and movies with a husband and wife.
You're really getting into that one.
Feel it. Hello, I'm Moose.
I'm Jody.
We're married. We talk about TV shows and movies and ass jerky. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, my.
But Jody, let's start off with an Apple TV Plus show called Sugar with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
And I think both you and I were interested in this because when it started, it looked to be like a classic noir, private eye, solving a case / finding a missing person show, correct?
Yeah, I felt like it had like this kind of classic, nostalgic, old-timey feel.
It had like this gumshoe and the streets of Los Angeles type of thing, which I think was part of the love that we had for the Perry Mason show.
Yeah.
That has unfortunately been canceled. Great show. Go check it out on HBO or Max or whatever.
Yep.
But Sugar, and there's going to be some spoilers here.
Spoiler alert.
It's more than just it is that. It is like a gumshoe tracking down a missing person in L.A., and there's like movie producers and movie stars involved.
Yes.
Fake ones.
A mystery of a girl that has disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about episode 6, this big reveal happens. Well, let me lead up to it, actually. Let me build up to it. So he's a part, his name is John Sugar, and he's somehow, he's a part of some organization, and we thought it was like polyglot, like these people who each speak multiple languages, and they've got this club maybe.
It's like their Tuesday night book club,
right?
But for intellectuals who are very fluent in a lot of language.
Yeah, with like a Mensa club or something.
Yeah,
and he's a part of it. Okay, he's smart.
Can I say though, like I didn't pick up on the polyglots thing. I thought he was like a spy or CIA,
right?
Or
then
some
there's
sort
that.
of like assassin, group that he belonged to, because they all showed force and violence, and it's like you don't get that just from studying Italian.
No. So bottom line is we thought, okay, they're part of some organizations, some underworld, seedy, maybe clandestine type organization.
Yes.
In episode 6, here comes the spoiler. At the end of episode 6, he's, and I should mention, no spoiler yet, a couple episodes before this, he's doing this injection from this weird box.
Which I thought was heroin.
I thought it was too. And he's doing the injection, and then like the one girl, Ruby, says, "Oh, your hand's shaking." And, okay, that's maybe a withdrawal, and he's getting his fix. But then at the end of episode 6, here comes a spoiler. It turns out he's an alien.
Yeah.
And they are all aliens from some distant planet that we don't know anything about.
Hiding here.
Yeah.
In human form.
Yeah, they have this way to hide themselves in human form, and by taking this injection, which he does in a bathroom by himself, he's able to reveal his true form, which is like this bluish skin color and these bright blue, vivid eyes. And so he and these other people are from a distant planet, and I don't know what they're doing there other than just observing. We've come to find out they're a very peaceful species. They they hate harming anybody or anything. Like, in one scene where Sugar's, he's telling these people who obviously have the upper hand, look, I don't want to hurt you. And they're like, oh, okay. We outnumber you 3-1. We've got the guns. You don't, and you're in your mind. You're like, oh, yeah, how are you going to hurt them? You're fucked. But lo and behold, he's a savvy, quick, strong alien person who ends up, unfortunately, killing a couple of them.
Yep.
But, it's a good show. Like I like that it's taken a turn to this where it's not just, you could get away with this just being a straight gumshoe noir detective show and it'd be fine. But this adds something interesting to it,
Absolutely.
And it adds something like, is humanity worth this sort of effort, Because in the end of the episode, or the season, I should say, he ends up staying on Earth when the rest of them have been essentially kind of spotted And there's this other organization, maybe we'll find out more about them, who want to hunt them down and prevent them from doing what they're doing.
I think too, you kind of, so this show has narration, like first person narration is, kind of Sugar's inner head thoughts or monologue. I don't know what you would call that really, but you kind of see him struggle with evaluating humanity too. And like he sees both bad in humans and good. And he chooses to keep having hope in the good parts of humans, I think, Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that kind of pops up in one of the final scenes of the season where his species, everybody's going back to the planet. They're at their extraction point, and he's there with Ruby, and he tells them kind of why he's staying. He's staying because of Henry, who's been hanging out with this, serial kidnapper and killer.
Yeah.
And observing and taking notes. And he's kind of on the hunt for Henry now.
Yeah.
So here's Sugar at the end talking to Ruby.
Oh, I'll miss my home. And I'll miss you, Ruby. Oh, well. And all the others, but... this place... these people... for better or worse, I like them. I'm like them.
He likes them, and he's like them. Which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has a chance to go back to this seemingly perfect other planet that they come from. Apparently they're all peaceful.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a statement about the human race as a species. Like it's almost kind of fouled him up a little bit, but he kind of likes it. Maybe we'll get into more of his species if there is a next season. I hope there is. But it's interesting. Him and Henry have showed up. And they've both kind of glommed onto different aspects of the human being.
Very opposite ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John/Sugar is very much interested in the good side of people and pursuing that, whereas Henry seems very fascinated with the cruelty.
Yeah.
And I like that. That seems like it's more than just, I'm going to solve the case. And next season, there's going to be a new case. Like, again, which is fine. But I don't know. I like Sugar.
I do too. It's an interesting character. And obviously, him being an alien is fascinating. Like, yes, I need to know more, like, about your kind and where you come from and why you would choose to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the way it's made is good. They have lots of old clips from old movies that fit to where we're at in the story.
It's cool.
It's just it adds a little flair, a little touch.
Yeah.
And the way it's shot is good.
I have to say too, this cast is good. Just really good. Like I know Amy Ryan from The Office and that great, hilarious comedy character, and then to see her do this dramatic role, and she just nailed it. And yeah, Anna Gunn, always awesome.
Oh yeah.
All these kind of supporting cast, just excellent.
Dennis
excellent acting.
Boutsikaris, you've seen him a lot of places. Nate Cordry's in there. James Cromwell, the great James Cromwell. The only people I don't like are Jason Butler Harner, who plays Henry. Something about him bothers me.
Yeah.
And Eric Lang, he had a few episodes, who played Stallings, kind of the head guy of this trafficking organization. He always seems like he's Mr. Acting.
Yeah.
You know?
He's minor, though. I mean, you're not seeing him super often,
Right. But good show otherwise.
Yeah.
I really like it, and I'll look forward to it when it comes back. Hopefully it comes back. I haven't seen anything about it being canceled, so we can assume, knock on noise-free, noise absorption foam, that he will be back.
Fingers crossed.
moving on to an Amazon Prime Video. Sorry, I think that's what it's supposed to be called. Fallout.
Prime Video.
Yeah, the video game Fallout has gotten the TV version, the TV treatment.
Yeah.
And it's from Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, who did Westworld.
Oh, okay.
And it does have that kind of epic feel.
Yeah.
Anybody's played the video game, the gist is that there's this big nuclear series of explosions, wipes out humanity, and there's an apocalyptic world. Some people live in vaults under the earth and are trying to build a new society. Then there's people who roam the land, you know, fighting off mutated beings and creatures and humans and
raiding supplies.
Raiding supplies, yeah. So, yeah, it's a good video game. I played Fallout 4, enjoyed it, didn't really stick around for it too much. But this series started out really good for me. Like the first episode, I was like, whoa, cool. And I don't know about you, but it just kind of plateaued out. We're on episode, I want to say 3 or 4. So maybe that's not a fair thing to say, but they started with a bang. And then after that, it's been kind of, okay, you know.
Yeah, I kind of agree. They did kind of start off like, oh, what's happening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of a blend of a couple of worlds coming together. You know, you got kind of that upper world, you know, and then the vault dwellers who are kind of this, I don't want to say goody-goody, but for lack of better description, they're just like, everything's great. And, you know, you kind of have that like Disney princess character in Lucy. And, you know, then it's kind of these worlds collide. Like she leaves on a quest to go rescue her father, you know?
Yeah. And that's the season is she's come out of the vault. She's on the land out in the world and she's trying to go rescue her father. Because this big thing happened in the first episode and these raiders kidnapped her dad. But it's good. I mean, it's very well done.
Yeah.
You got some good CGI, some interesting set pieces. Walton Goggins.
Of course.
I want to get more. I like they're giving you drips of his backstory. He was apparently some famous actor back in the day.
Yeah. Like a Western.
Yeah.
Know, spaghetti Western actor, you know.
Yeah, and had a family and now he's this mutated character called the Ghoul.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like almost like I don't want to say Han Solo character, but he's definitely figured out how to survive in this post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, he's an opportunist. He's kind of like a bounty hunter or something of that nature, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And as you said, he knows what to do to survive. That includes eating some things you maybe wouldn't normally eat.
Well, one good question deserves another. Why the fuck am I doing all the work? Now, come on, Vaulty. Ass jerky don't make itself.
Ass jerky don't make itself. He's there's a guy he shot and killed, and he was carving up some of the meat off this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple things were kind of spelled out for us. Apparently some people are turning into, I want to say, mindless post-apocalyptic zombies. And to thwart that, they have to take some sort of chemical, which this guy is out of.
Yeah.
The Ghoul is one of them. He has taken this chemical. And And another thing is you got to sometimes resort to cannibalism.
Who knows what would happen to this society? Yeah, there'd probably be some of that going on in post-apocalyptic world, you know?
I'd want to ask you, but I think we would all say yes. We wouldn't want to, but we would all say yes to cannibalism if it came down to it.
I don't know. I don't know if I could. I think I would try everything possible prior to that. But if there's nothing and no animals to hunt or eat or fish, no other option, I don't know. Maybe I'll just be a vegetarian. I'll try to grow some soybeans or something.
Go find some mushrooms.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would say yes to that. I really don't.
Yeah.
That's a big mental hurdle.
I think though, anybody, if they're hungry enough and they're desperate enough and the outlook is not so great as far as food.
Yeah.
You would do what you got to do, right?
I mean, I think if you're at that level, you're probably crazy enough to do that. Yeah. You're, the mind protects the body. So you probably get a little crazy when you're starving to death. And yeah, your body probably does what it needs to do to survive. So
yeah. And especially if you're the ghoul, Walton Goggins, or you maybe just go find a vault and like say, hey, can I move down here?
Can I live here now?
I can grow corn.
Yep.
But
all about it.
Fallout is a good show. I like it.
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Sure.
See if Lucy finds her dad, played by Kyle MacLachlan of the old Dune and Twin Peaks show.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, they have whatever budget they need because there's nothing lacking on this show as far as set pieces, set decoration and CGI.
Yeah, even the suits, I don't know what we want to call them, the armor.
Oh, yeah.
Suits.
Yeah, what do they call those guys?
I don't remember, but those are pretty cool.
Those are cool. And I read an article how the practical people made an actual working suit.
Sweet.
And they have like this one very large actor who operates it when they do it. He's like a stuntman actor and he's nobody you'd heard of, but
still.
Yeah, that's his job. He had to spend a couple hours getting to know it and how to make it look like it's a big, piece of machinery.
That's cool. What a cool job. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Get to operate a big old robot suit.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's actually operating, it flies too. Like you get to wear a suit that kind of lifts you up into the air with your little rocket boosters. That's pretty cool.
It doesn't fly.
Oh, okay.
It does function walking, moving.
Oh, okay.
But it's not super powered. It doesn't fly.
Darn.
But my point is it's definitely not all CGI.
Okay.
Yeah. So
got it.
Go check it out
but
on
still cool
it
dream
is.
job for a stunt man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving on to what the kids are watching. It was our 12-year-old, soon to be 13-year-old's turn, and she has been obsessed with. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Oh boy. I'm just like my country. The Hamilton, which we are you there, Jody?
I am.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And we watched the Broadway movie version of it.
Yeah. Let me preface this with thank you, public education system. Some teacher introduced our child to the soundtrack, and she was cranking this soundtrack nonstop for probably a solid month from her room. So, we got inundated. And then when she wasn't listening to the soundtrack, she is walking around the house singing it all the time.
Yeah.
And God love her. I love it. I do. But I can say by the time we watch this, okay, I'll watch this because it's what you'd like to watch, child. Yeah,
I know, and I wanted to watch it for a couple reasons. I wanted to hopefully maybe fulfill that quest in her to watch it, and maybe it would start to cool off a little bit.
Yeah,
for her.
That want.
Yeah, but also for a good couple years now, there's been all this buzz about Hamilton. It's a very hot show that nobody could get tickets for on Broadway for the longest time, and it's got a national tour going on, or did.
Yeah,
so I want to see what all the fuss was
about. Same.
Was about.
Yeah, like, okay, well, I'm all for a good musical performance, musical movie. I love that stuff. I grew up watching all kinds of musicals, and I've always been, I love it. Every show I've ever gone to our theater here that's a musical production touring, or, I've loved them all. And yeah, I wanted to see this one as well because of all the hype that it got and like see what all the fuss was about. Also for me, and I'm surprised you didn't say this, but it's a historical story that I only knew like one fact about. So why is it such a successful musical? Like, what is this historical story about? You know? So I was intrigued by that.
Yeah, it's got the historical stuff. It's presented in a fresh new way. Like, there's a lot of rapping and there's like 99% singing and rapping and 1% speaking dialogue.
Yeah, that was a shift for me in most of the musicals that I've watched, either live or, on TV.
Agreed. And I'm with you. I can do a musical, but I need some non-musical parts. This was pretty much musical start to finish.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't know. I've been to a couple Broadway shows, and based on what I've seen of this, obviously I'm not in the audience, but I would take Les Mis live over this any day of the week. The set pieces are huge, elaborate. This one has some actual decent set pieces, but my point is, I don't know what all the fuss was about with Hamilton, other than it's a predominantly minority cast presenting a predominantly white historical period, with some kind of fresh new way of doing it, like, rap and singing. And so I get that, but I don't know.
I was interested in the story, the characters, and, the storylines. There's some drama there. There's,
some violence.
There's a death of a child, and there's an affair, and, it's a story. It's interesting. And, I only knew one historical fact of, who shot Hamilton, but to hear kind of each character and how they got to that point, in that story was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the huge minority here, but I
know
am
where you're
not.
Going. I know where you're going.
Yes, you do. I'm not a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
I'm not either. And I was literally about to bring that up too.
Yeah.
I can't stand Lin-Manuel Miranda. His voice is annoying to me.
Yes.
His face is annoying. I'm not supposed to say that, but I'll say this. The man is super talented.
Super talented.
Very talented. I'll give him credit.
It's just not a voice that I enjoy. And mostly the singing, and I don't know. I felt like sometimes his facial expressions were a little bit over the top for this. And I guess, it's musical theater. Isn't everything kind of
has to be.
Yeah. But some of the other supporting cast did so good that it was a sharp contrast. Like, they were very focused actors and very, in it, not just trying to kind of break the third wall and crack a laugh from the audience,
Right.
I mean, there was some of that, but I don't know. It made that a little sharper contrast between his kind of exaggeration, I guess.
Yeah, we're not in the Lin-Manuel fan club.
No,
and a lot of the songs I could hear in Moana. Like, I hear there's like a style he brings when he writes songs, because he did a lot of the stuff for the Moana animated Disney.
Absolutely. I get that. Yep.
Yeah, so I could definitely hear echoes of that.
But all good artists, have a style.
Sure.
I mean, what that person brings to the table, that it is what they do. And it's applied to different stories, but they're still bringing their style and what they do to the table every time, no matter what the project is.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Yes.
You know, you hear a song, you're like, that sounds like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
David Fincher is a great example, movie director.
Yep.
You know, David Fincher movie looks like a David Fincher movie.
Sure. Yep.
And so on and so on. So.
Yep. He's just not my style. It's like, I don't like Barbra Streisand. I know that's unpopular too. Like, people love her. I just don't get it. I don't like her voice, singing or otherwise. I don't know. Some people just don't click for me. And
that's fair. You don't need to, justify it.
Yep.
He's not your cup of tea. He's not mine either. So. But we're in the minority. Millions of people love Lin-Manuel and his style, and good for you.
Tons of people love this musical too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
What'd you think of it? You know, to wind things down on Hamilton, did you like it? Not like it? Is there kind of gray area there for you?
I think once I settled in to it and I really got into the story and kind of not noticing him so much and noticing more of the supporting cast and kind of their musical numbers and things like that, I got more into it and I enjoyed it more. So I did overall like it. I had a couple of the catchy tunes stuck in my head the next day. So, I mean, I liked it. I liked the story. I probably would have benefited from seeing someone else cast, if I had gone to like a local touring show of the production. But yeah, I liked it. It was fine. It's a good story.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I thought it was fine. I think I'd rather read the biography about Alexander Hamilton.
True.
And I know this play was based on one that I'm not recalling the name of, but I'd rather read the book, you know? It's just too much singing for me.
Yeah.
I don't mind a musical, like I said, but if it's all singing,
I know.
That being said, I was able to keep up with the story and know what was going on. And like I said, it was fine.
I did have to have the captions on.
Well, to be fair, we got to have captions on for everything now. Not just us, but most movie, TV viewers in general.
Okay,
because the sound mixing has gotten out of hand these days.
Yeah, I just was having a hard time understanding what they were saying, and it didn't matter who it was. And because they were singing it, I don't know if my brain translates it as well. I don't know, but I needed captions.
Here's Jody the whole time we were watching it. What? 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 Just kidding.
Sometimes that happens. What did he say? Or it's getting bad now. Like when they show notes on the screen, I'm always I'm like, what did that say? I couldn't read it. Yeah. Middle age is fun.
Yeah. But I don't know. Hamilton's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on Disney Plus. You want to check it out.
Check it out.
Go check it out. Yeah. Let's wrap it up there.
Yeah.
On the Married with Channels podcast. We'll be back hopefully soon with another episode.
Yeah.
Got a couple Netflix shows to talk about, a couple HBO shows. Stand by for those.
All the streaming.
Married with Channels, a podcast where a married couple reviews TV shows and movies. Till next time, my name is Moose.
And I'm Jody.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Oh, make sure you give us a good review.
Yeah, hey, you didn't do the thing. I was just going to say, like, hey, do you want to talk about Twitter?
Oh, yeah. We're on Twitter, @MarriedWChans. It's like we're out of practice or something.
Share, tell your friends.
Okay, now we say bye.
Bye.
Bye.